Good morning. Ah, it's a beautiful day, and I'm so excited to have you here. So, if you're here live, make sure you say hello and let me know that you're here because since I'm on streaming, it's not always showing up as to who's here. And if you haven't given StreamYard permission to see your contact information, then it's just going to say Facebook user or YouTube user. And so definitely let me know if you have not given StreamYard permission that you are actually here and what your name is. Because I want to talk to you personally, and I can't do it if it just says Facebook user. Okay. And then the other thing is if you're watching the replays, I'm so grateful that you're here. I mean, we have some amazing founding members and we have a lot of new people that have joined the group. And I want to make sure that I am here for each and every one of you to the best capacity that I can. And the way that happens is by you showing up live and sharing and by doing your post in the group, but definitely make sure to put hashtag replay. And then when you post your things in the group, make sure you put hashtag PT vibes. That way we can all look to see what's going on. All right, so give me just a moment to do some housekeeping here. Let me see. I need to go to All right, so let me find my spots here. I hope you are finding the best day already and moving forward into it with joy. Oh, and I have, before I forget too, I have a really cool announcement for everyone. I posted yesterday about it. And where's my little note? Oh, there's my note. So I want to make sure that I get the opportunity to tell you about it because I'm super excited. We got a new guest coming in to speak to everyone, and it's going to be amazing. And I did pin it to the group so that if you're in the group and looking around, you will find it very easily. And so let me do this other thing and let's just see. All right, let me get back. All right, here we are. And so when I want to make sure, I've got my note here, so I want to make sure that I tell you about the event that's coming up, the guest expert that's going to be here because she has got such amazing information. And it is, I got on a Zoom yesterday and talked to her about coming into the group and what could she share, what would it, my shirt looks weird. What is that going on? There we go. Okay. But we talked about all the different things that she does. And it was like, oh, how do we pick one? But we're going to pick one because a lot of people have expressed some interest in some of these different things. And I will let you know what they are in just a bit. But right now, we are going to go ahead and get to the affirmation. Well, let me have a sip of my coffee first. Remember, I have to have my well, I don't have to have. I will say there are times that I don't even pick up a cup and I just drink water in the morning, but I enjoy my coffee and I'm still going to research the mushroom coffee. Nobody's reached out and told me anything about it, so I guess I'll have to do my own research. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to this affirmation. Before we do, I just had a thought. Have you ever had a day that you were going about and you have all these aspirations of what you want to do, and then you thought, am I talented enough? Do I know enough? And you start second guessing who you are and what you want to do in the world. And then maybe you get to the place where you start recognizing your gifts and your talents, and you start feeling really, really good. And then maybe somebody says something to you, and it brings you right back to this place of, I'm not that special. I'm not, I don't, how do I even expect to do this? And that is something that we kind of go through, especially as an entrepreneur, because we learn a skill, a craft, and we start doing that. And then maybe our expectations of how it's going to transpire, it doesn't match up, and we start second guessing. Maybe we just don't know enough, and that's when we get on that struggle bus of, I need to learn this, and I need to do that, and I need, and we can get so inundated with feelings of insecurity that we have to learn everything before we make a move. And I know I've been guilty of that many times. And most people who are entrepreneurs, that is what they do, because we tend to um, not feel and sense the gifts that we are giving people. And that's why it's really, really important to get some feedback from others and start like keeping a log of the things that people say about how much you've helped them. And that just came to my mind, and I think it kind of goes a little bit with our affirmation for the day. But just think about it. How often do you just celebrate your gifts and your talents? Do you even recognize them? Let's get to this affirmation. Okay. All right. Hold on. I gotta. All right. So the affirmation for the day is, I'm brimming with talents that are uniquely mine, and I offer something special to the world. And, we sometimes feel ourselves that we have talents and gifts. And I can speak for myself too, and, from other people that I've talked to. But when we look around, we see there are other people that have these gifts and talents. So what makes us so special, right? And the thing is like fingerprints. Nobody's fingerprint is identical to yours, and neither are the gifts and the talents. And it would benefit us tremendously to sit with this affirmation and really dive into what is unique about me. And I talk about this a lot with, all the things that have happened to us in our life create the who we are. And not one single person on this earth has had your experiences exactly like you have. Because the thing that is really interesting is that even if two people experience the exact same thing at the exact same time, they have a different perspective because of who they are, of what those events were. And there's even some studies that are proven that a lot of times, it's like if you have a street of people that, and this is really not that great, but anyway, you have a street of people that witness a crime across the street. Each person has a different visual perspective of where they're standing viewing the event. So each person is going to have a different definition or a different story of what just happened. And it's kind of like there's a story that I remember about I think it was monks that were blindfolded. And I may be telling this story incorrectly, but this is going to work anyway. Okay. I promise. It goes somewhere. But these monks were all blindfolded, and there was an elephant, a big elephant in front of them, and each one was given a certain spot to touch and feel and describe what was there. So there was someone that was at the tail, someone that was at the back leg and the front leg, and on the right and the left, and then someone that was at the trunk. And so each person was describing an elephant. Yet they were only describing it from where they were touching. So like the guy with at the tail, it's a long skinny thing with and then someone at the side would be describing, this big massive um rough textured thing, right? And then someone at the trunk would have this long thing with, a mouth, and maybe they would feel the eyes. So each person was describing the elephant from where their perspective was. And we do that in life a lot of times. And so when we have experienced things from our perspective, it's totally different from what somebody that was right next to you that had the same experience. And it's all of those experiences of our life, the good, the bad, the ugly, that all create who we are. And so just by knowing that, you can see that your talents and gifts are unique to you, even though other people may be doing the same or similar thing. Your perspective, your ability to get into it, to share it with others, is totally unique to you. And I will say this is something that I struggled with early on when I became a life coach, a health coach, a transformational coach, and a hypnotist. And I did all these things, but I could see other people, they were life coaches and health coaches and transformational coaches, because I hear it all the time. And there was some hypnotists. And so it was like, how am I unique in this playing field of people that are doing the same thing, right? I have a different view and perspective, and I have a different gift of how I share that with others. And one of the things that I do that is a little bit different, and I have not met every hypnotist alive, so I'm just speaking from my view of the world, my perspective of where I'm at and the people that I've interacted with, okay? I'm doing a blanket statement of I'm the only one in the world that does this, okay? Just so you know. But as a hypnotist, I don't just sit down and say, okay, so you want to lose weight, and what do you want to eat? And then just do a script with them. I don't do that, because I am a life coach, a health coach, and a transformational coach. I went to a special 1 year educational course just for the transformational coaching by itself. And then my hypnosis, I had one of my certifications was a year-long certification, and some of them were shorter. Well, the others were shorter, but I have 5 certifications for different ways that I do hypnosis. But I also have the health coach and the life coaching, and that was a year. And so I have time invested in learning all these things. So when I sit down with a client, with someone who wants hypnosis, it's not just, what do you want to do? Let's do it. It is, we explore, and I do coaching with you. And so sometimes the coaching part, the very first part of it, before we even get to the hypnosis, could be up to an hour of diving in and helping you create and learn the nuances of why it is that you want what you want, and how you get underneath of what you need to do. And we explore and we learn and we uncover. And then during that, I take notes and I create the script using your words and what you aspire to in the actual script that I create. And it changes every single time we get together, because every time we get together, you're a different person, right? Because when we've talked about this before, every day, if you're making any kind of changes, whether it's good or bad, and let's face it, you change all the time, you are a different person tomorrow than you are today, and you're a different person today than you were yesterday. And so we take all of that into consideration. I could not go back and I will say I had someone the other day that was asking for the recording of our hypnosis session, but I don't do that anymore. And the reason is because as we create these new changes in your subconscious mind, the thing that we worked on is not there in the same way anymore. So if you go back and you listen to that recording from just the session that we did, then sometimes that can kind of awaken something that we have already moved out of. And so I know I'm explaining a lot of stuff about hypnosis and all that, but I'm saying this because in the beginning, when I first started this, I did exactly what everybody had taught me to do. Exactly. So I had this, and these were the things I said, and these were the things I did. And it was kind of very cookie cutter. And so over time, as I learned and I grew, I started seeing what made me unique and what perspective I had of the world that helped me to see things maybe a little bit differently. And, and I have some hypnotists and coaches that I love, and they're very different from me. And I love what they do, but that's not me. So, where on in your life are you brimming with talents that are uniquely yours that you can offer something special in the world? Because you do. And remember, anything you say after the words I am, it is. And so adopt this affirmation today and gather up all the evidence of what your talents and your unique gifts are. So write this on a sticky note, put it on your index card, put it on your mirror with a chalk marker like I do. Make a screensaver for your phone. Heck, put it on a poster board and stick it up. I don't care, but put it where you can see it, where you will utilize it, and you will put this in your mind. Because remember, your subconscious mind, the one that's paying attention to all of this, doesn't know the difference between truth or fiction. And so you can either tell it this statement, or you can tell it the thing where you're the same as everybody else. Why does anybody care? Now, which one feels better, right? And so if you're anything like me, and like most people, 90% of the population, it feels better when you have empowering words about who you are. And even if it doesn't feel like it when you first say it, it becomes you, and you can keep saying it. And I suggest you look at how unique you are and all the things that you have happened to you in your life, and you're going to be blown away with how much. And I know I say blown away a lot, but it seems to me it just fits. Okay. But you will be blown away with the epiphanies that come up for you. All right. So now let's get to the journal prompt. And I will say, hold on a second. Oh, wait, what? Oh, cool. Give me a second. I copied it more than once, and I'm trying to make sure I don't give you a whole bunch of them. I don't know how I did that, but let's just see what comes up here. All right. Oh, I forgot to share it with you. Here we go. All right. So the journal prompt is, what is one talent or gift I possess that makes me feel proud? And how can I share it more with those around me? So what this helps you to do is kind of reflect on your personal strengths and the joy of sharing those talents with others. Okay. So the thing that I was just talking about is seeing your life story, and what are the things that you learned that make you more uniquely equipped to handle certain things, or to have a different view on things. And so the more you can look at any of your talents, and for today's purpose, find one, and that way you're not just all over the place. Look at one talent that you have, or a gift you have, that makes you feel proud, and how can you share more of those around you, right? And it's really important to look at all of it, and then maybe filter down to which one do I want to focus on today? Because let's face it, we have so many gifts and talents if we will open ourselves up to seeing them. And so I would like for you to take the time today to sit down with your journal and write this journal prompt. And remember, there are people in the group that have a special journal just for this. And so if you want to do something like that, that's amazing. Or if you want to just get a notebook and create a notebook that is for your daily affirmation and journal prompts. And that just helps you to keep things together, keep things more organized so that you can go back in time, not back in time, but in time, you can look back at this and you can look at what you thought were your gifts and talents. And then you'll be able to expand on that, because as you grow and you're changing, you're growing 1% or more every single day. And as you do that, then you are creating new things about yourself that are gifts and talents that you possess. And so you can add to that every I would look back, maybe in a month, maybe in 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever is comfortable for you, and come back to this and say, okay, this is the talents and the gifts that I said I had on March 2nd, 2024. Let me see, how do I expand on that? Because I have grown so much and my gifts and talents have grown with me. And I want you to start seeing your uniqueness in the world. And we do that by looking at it and seeing all these things that have happened in our lives. They were challenges that we faced, or things that we learned, and they all came together to make us uniquely us. So put on those glasses that help you see your unique abilities. And remember, I've talked before about the glasses that we put on in the world, whether it's a rose-colored glasses, or if it's glasses of how wonderful we are, or glasses of how we're lacking. We have glasses that we put on that we believe are us. And so it's time to take those off and start seeing ourselves through a totally different lens. And it is so important to recognize our gifts, because that's the only way that we can move forward and share them with the world. And that is ultimately what we want to do, or most of us want to do. And even some people that say that they're good, they still want to give advice. They still want to tell people different things to do, or their thoughts and their feelings. And so that is also sharing your gifts and your talents, right? And so we all want to do it to some extent. And so if you're here and you're watching this, then I am sure that you're a person that has amazing gifts and talents. And it's time to write it out and feel the gifts and talents, and the feeling proud and aware. And the more aware of these that you become, the more you're able to be effective and moving forward in your life and helping others. All right. So remember, your goal is to do your journal prompt and to do your affirmation. And I want to remind everybody, the daily task that you have is to go in the group and share your peachy vibes, your self-care for the day. And I know sometimes it can be, I gotta go do that. The thing is that if you go in and when you go in and you share that, you are bringing it forth into your life a little bit deeper, and you're helping others to see how you are creating this self-care in your life. Because I share it a lot of times, there are so many different things that people do for self-care. And a lot of times people get so hung up on self-care is this and this and this and this. But oh my gosh, self-care can be so big and so broad. And I really would love for you to share what you're doing today for your self care in the group, not just a comment on this post, but create a post of your own, whether it's a live video or whether it's just a picture of something, or maybe it's a meme, or you just write out, I did my self care today. And it was, it doesn't matter wherever you are, do it that way. But share, 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 because this is a community of like minded people. And the best way to affect the change within you and the change within others, because remember, this is make lasting change. And to do that, this is how you begin. This is how you grow. This is how you help. And for those that are watching in the other platforms that this streams out to, if you would like to be part of Make Lasting Change, the group on Facebook, because it is amazing, you would go to vickypoole.com. That's VICKIEPOOLE.com. And you make sure that you answer the questions that are there, because if you don't answer all the questions, you are not entered into the group. So I will just leave that there. But I almost forgot. See, I told you earlier I was going to let you know about this event that's coming up, and I almost forgot. But it is on, let's see, it is March 11th, and that is on a Monday. So not this upcoming Monday, but the following Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Christine is going to be here giving you some time-saving tips for cooking healthy, delicious food. Because not only have people been putting in that they have issues with stress, but there's a time issue. And let's just say most people gravitate toward doing the easy thing instead of the healthy thing. And the healthier we make our body, the healthier we have our mind, the healthier we have our actions, and it all works together. It's not separate pieces of the pie. It's the whole pie. And so in this group, we are going to be diving into so many different aspects of life, and joy and peace and confidence and comfort and time and stress. There are so many things we're going to be diving into. And so you be here for that. I mean, the last person that we had, we talked about, what was it? All of a sudden, it just went right out of my head. We talked about clutter and how to get more organized. The word was not coming to my head. It was Kathy Burns, and she helped us with decluttering and organization and making organized our new normal. And that was an amazing, amazing gift that she gave to you in the Facebook group. And the recording is in there. So if that is something that is important to you, go back and watch that. And then, like I said, on Monday, the 11th at 8 p.m., I don't know if I said the time, 8 p.m. Eastern, she will be live in the group with me. We will have a conversation. She's actually going to do a little demonstration and talk to you about how to create these healthy meals with less time. So I'm so looking forward to it, because that's one of the things that I have an issue with sometimes, is I don't have enough time to do something, and still working with choosing the healthy options. All right. There is an Eventbrite in the group, but I'm going to actually create an event in the group as well. So we will have a special place for you to be. And I am so excited to offer this extra for you. Vicky Poole, how do I get my name off here so that you stop tagging me? Oh, well, I don't know, but I will look on the Facebook thing and see who you are, and then I will make sure that happens. All right. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, with the affirmation and journal prompt. All right. Mwah.